you do? Come on, man, wave your hand. Pick up Jesus and wave your hand. Too many miles behind me. Talk to me tonight. Too many trials are true. I said too many tales tell me to remember. Come on, man, wave your hand, wave your hand. There is too much to give. I want to sing it again. To Lord, too many miles behind me. No matter what you have gone through, too many trials are true. I said too many tears help me to remember. But there is too much to give to Lord. Do so, do so, do so, do so, do so. Set up cross the hard burning desert. Sometimes I struggle the right road to choose. Oh you do, but somewhere over there there is cool, clear water, and the sea is one word. You. Emancipation Park, how you do? I said too many suns lie beyond the mountain. I said too many rivers my feet have walked through. I said too, we have done. Away over yonder. Oh, there is too much. Oh, to give to Lord. Can I testify? Set across the hard burning desert. Sometimes. Say you struggle the right road to choose. I said somewhere over there there is cool water, and the feet is what. Come on, we have the man. I don't know. Who am I to say? Look for your name now. He laid his hands on me. He laid his hands on me. Christ laid his hands on me. Who am I to say? Jesus went and died on the cross. Up on the cross, he died up on the cross. He died up on the cross. Sign up me name. We have done. Jesus to stand me way. You stand me way. Sign up me name. How you do? Jesus to stand me way. Sign up me name. Emancipation Park. How want you look for your name now? I have been through the storm. But it seemed like forever. Hold me tonight. For your night of confusion. Wake up. And been on so long. Can I testify? For your ship has lost anchor. Everybody. For this storm got you gypsy. Everybody do so. Everybody. For your night almost over. Tell me something. He can ride out your storm. Everybody. Oh, me ride on the star. Me beg you, me Jesus. What kind of star? You ready to ride a star? Mama, ride a star, ride a star. Everybody, everybody, everybody. Me beg you, Lord. Me beg you, me Jesus. Me beg you, me Jesus. Me beg you, me Jesus. Me beg you, me. Do so, do so, do so, do so, do so. Me beg you, me Jesus. Singing right out there. Oh, God is there with you. Oh, you know. Me say you may not feel it. Tonight, me say you're not alone. Oh, you're hurting now. Can I testify? When your morning is coming, you can hold on to Jesus. Tonight, he can ride on. Oh, me ride on the star. Ride on the star. What kind of star? Storm of back pain. Storm of leprosy. Me beg you, Lord. Me beg you, me Jesus. We have done. Do so. Oh, me ride on this star. What kind of star? What kind of star? Walk for your victory. Praise God for your victory. Oh, me ride me star. Oh, me ride me star. Oh, me ride me star. Oh, my ride the star. Ride the star. What kind of song? Me beg you, me Jesus. Me beg you, me Jesus. Me beg you, me Jesus. Oh, you do. Me beg you, me Jesus. Me beg you, me Jesus. We have done. Lose yourself. Me beg you, me Jesus. Hold on to Jesus. He can ride out your storm. No matter what the storm cloudy, no matter what the persecution you bear, but hold on to Jesus. He can ride out your storm. I said, hold on to Jesus. Hold on to him tonight. Hold on to him tonight.
night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, wherever you are, locally, regionally, and internationally. Once again, it's time for Talking Points. My name's Sheldon Scott. I'm here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 15 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock in the studio. And we're saying a special good night to those of you joining us via the various mediums. Those of you with us on the Facebook, those of you with us on the YouTube. Let me see who's on the Facebook thus far. Yeah, and folks on the Facebook, remember to hit the like and share button. Like and share. I see Emerson Roy Jr., Errol Bonaparte, John Mark, Laslin Douglas. I see Nicole Alexander, Mavis Mitchell, Shamin Ragba Singh, Antonito Peters, Winnie Simon, Wendy Ann McGuire, Rebecca Stafford, Landon Jane, Margaret Felix. So far on the Facebook. There are many others, but since they didn't put their name into the you ain't Yes, indeed. And let's see who is over on, let me see here. Yvonne John Roberts, I just saw you there. And let me see who is joining us over on the YouTube. I see Maud Martin, Alban Harris, Agnes Henry, Dalton Strawn, Rosalind Jones, Anastasia Buckmeyer, Sherma Jeremiah, Joycelyn Lewis, Vanessa Lalji, Claude Abraham, Anna Lewis, Kathleen Knights, Fergie, Marilyn Ferguson, good night to you. Angel Map, Kathleen Ledlow, Carrot Spice, good night to you. A Good Life, good night to you. Dolores Redhead, Alice, Renee Zadi, Mr. B, good night. The lovely Mrs. Watts and Mr. Watts, good night to you. Veronica, Lois Alexander, Lona Lolo Williams, Gavin Thomas, Cynthia Collins, Antonito, Jefferson Hagley, Stephen Simon, Ashma Charles, Chris London, Bernadette Joseph. I see Cynthia Joan, Oswald Belfont, Sharon Felix, Kathina Richards, Anne-Marie Dick, Alcy Peters, Christine Alexander, Carol Belfont, Hermione Caliste. Good night to each and every one of you. I think I'm going a little overboard there with this thing here. Let me see about there good. You can't be going too high there. Nice. Liz Douglas, good night to you. So in a short way, it's Thursday, so we're going to open the phone lines, Camille Teresa Scott, good night to you. The Geezer, good night to you. Mr. Handsome, good night to you. Mommy George, good night to you. we say a good night to the crew at the New National Party headquarters. Mrs. Campbell, Mrs. Pascal, Miss Lynch, good night to all of you. Yes, and I think we're going to take one more before we get into the discussions. A quick one, yeah? Because I'm just working on something in the background here. So take one quick one before we get into, the discussions. Yes, indeed, huh? Again, folks, remember, we're looking for your donations. We have to expand the program. We have to get back on terrestrial radio. There are other considerations with the location that we are at this point in time. Hey, good night to you, Mary Slinger, out there in New York. Good night to California. Well, afternoon, evening, to California, Arizona. Yeah. Those of you listening out there in Canada, Oshawa in Canada, and Ontario in Canada, Edmonton, those of you listening in Maryland, Washington, D.C., Florida, we know Florida is locked in, North Carolina, Texas, Atlanta. Say a good night to each and every one of you and hope that you all have had a fabulous day and a fabulous week thus far. Some folks were asking me how they can donate. Yes, that is what this is. If you go to this, it will allow you to donate. So if you go to that, it will show you exactly. You click on it and you follow the instructions and you will be able to donate. The link is also there on the live itself. So you could just click on the link on the live and it will take you to that page where you will be able to make donations outside of donating on the live itself. Yeah. Okay, Niagara Falls, say don't forget them. So Niagara Falls, good night to you all. Yeah. Let me just put that up short again for you all. Yes, some of you. Yeah. Yes, so let's get into it for tonight. And as I said, the phone lines are open. You can call at any point in time. But we have several things that we must discuss tonight. Yeah? So first, I did see a release sometime during the day from it's supposed to be from the State Department, but probably it's on their Facebook page. I'm checking their web page and I'm not seeing it, but I saw something today from them. So let me get to the U.S. State Department and, at least I got one here from the embassy in Barbados. So it's not on their websites, but it's on their social media. They've put it out via those. And this one states, let me just pull it up here. Nice. And you know how to pull it and show you. Yeah, how to show you the thing on time. Right, so the media advisory. The U.S. Embassy to Barbados, the Eastern Caribbean, and the OECS, as of today, they sent that out today. It says effective January 21st, 2026, the Department of State is pausing all visa issuances to immigrant visa IV applicants from 75 countries, including Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Immigrant visa applicants who are nationals of affected countries may submit visa applications and attend interviews, but no immigrant visas will be issued to these nationals during this pause. This announcement only affects immigrants. Immigrant visas. Non-immigrant visas are not affected by this pause. All right? So you've heard it from the official sources now, the U.S. Embassy in Barbados. And I know I saw something from the State Department, but I believe where I saw it from was on their social media, because at this point in time, it's still not up on their official website, nor is it up on the U.S. Embassy Barbados website, but it's up on their socials. So if you have an appointment as regards an immigrant visa, so you're attempting to go and stay in the United States, you want to live there, and you have a visa appointment, if you have your appointment next week or week after or whenever, you can still attend your appointment. You can still make appointments now. Yeah, you can still make appointments even after the date that they've paused. You can make the appointment, but they will not be processing because they're looking over certain things. So they will not be processing. So that's the situation now. So you can make your appointment even though they stop next week Wednesday, you can make your appointment, but they will take your interview. You could go to Barbados, you could do your interview, you could set up afterwards, you could do your interview next month after, but it is only when they restart the process that you may or may not find out if you're getting through, because it is only then that they will process. But for the time being, they are not going to process. And let me say a good night to Vaughn Simon out there in Vaughn, good night, bro, out there in Las Vegas. Yeah, man, nice. So folks, the phone number, as I said, is 1473-440-7377. The phone lines are open. Again, I would reiterate the point that I made last night. If the true intention of the United States is to stop people coming and staying illegally in the United States, or even those that come legally and stay in the United States and then become a problem, they end up in the criminal system, they end up becoming a burden on the healthcare system, or some other problem that they give to the United States, they are seeking to stop that. Whether you come legally or you come legally and then become illegal, they're trying to stop that. And as all of us know, the vast majority of people who end up in those situations are not the ones who go legally, but the ones who go there and then end up overstaying the time and that sort of thing. So all I'm saying is look out. Yeah? No, I'm not the US government, but I'm telling you, look out, because you know what can be coming. So if you have to go and do your non-immigrant visa, I would advise that you do it ASAP, as soon as possible. Yeah? Go and do it as soon as possible, because we don't know what could be happening in a short while from now. Yeah? So it is better to go, sort that out now, get it out of the way, than you end up in a situation, because there are some people telling you, don't worry about that, and who giving this and who telling the wrong thing and all sort of thing out there. They're bread, butter already. All of them had a visa. They're good. Some of them that are telling you that are in the United States right now. So you sort yourself out. Keep your head on. If you have to go and get your documents together. What you need to do, get your documents together, make your appointment, go and sort yourself out now. That is for those of you who have an intention of traveling to the United States and those whose visas may have expired and you need to get that sorted out. I would humbly suggest that you check on yourself as soon as possible and get that done. Right. 147, I missed two calls. 14734407377. Those are the numbers for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. Also, folks, we have the legislation that is being brought forward as regards the use of cannabis. And let me just pull that up. I am looking for it. All right, I think this is the one here. This is the policy document. All right, yeah. So there are various aspects to this particular act that they're coming with. And there are various things that you need to know. So first of all, it is not a situation that people could just decide that they ain't going and plant corn and peas and okra and tomato and peppers and all kind of thing again. They go in and plant marijuana instead. For those of you that have that thought in your head, no, that is not what is going to be taking place here. In fact, if you would like to do that, you have your lands and you would like to do that, you would have to apply for a license to get the permission to be able to do that. So it is not a situation like you will be able to just go and get your license, just go and start to plant and so on. Also, they are decriminalizing. Yeah, for marijuana, you'd be allowed to have 56 grams. If you have 57, you're in problems. You'll be charged with trafficking. You'll be allowed to have 56 grams. Don't ask me how that does look in marijuana. I don't know. 56 grams, and in cannabis resin, 15 grams of that without having to be arrested and so on. Once you have that amount, they're legal. You can have that on you. Yeah? There are certain places you wouldn't be able to have it on you, like within a certain distance, within a certain distance of schools and those sort of things. Yeah. They're going to have things, for instance, like smoking areas at different events. So you may have, for instance, a concert that might be taking place at, for instance, let's say the National Stadium, where they may have a concert, and you may have an area that is a smoking area, so they could go and smoke in that particular area. All of these things are part of the law that's being put forward. And I think it's important that you, the Grenadian people, know exactly what is being put forward in relation to this act for you. Yeah? Because we know there are some people that agree with it, and there are some people that are against it. Some people say that marijuana has a serious effect on the brains of some individuals. That's what some people say. Some people say no, it's different people, there are different discussions in relation to it. Yeah, but it's important to know what is being passed. Because you have bills that have been passed in some other territories, in the OECS and so on. There has been the regional report that was done on this many years ago. During the period of the new National Party, an act was brought before Parliament. The act that was brought before Parliament, this present administration say, no, they didn't agree with that act. They want something just decriminalized, across the board, just decriminalize. But what they have done, no, they said legalize, while the new National Party, prior to the 2022 elections, was speaking regarding this issue of decriminalizing. The present administration, then in the opposition, not even benches, but in opposition, were saying that you had to legalize. So they were saying just legalize it. They allow people to have what they, as much as they want and do what they want and so on, and create a marijuana industry. But to a lot of you out there who believe that you won't be able, no, I think they leave it to 4. Yeah, four trees. We're going to go through the full thing. I think they left it down to 4 trees that you can have in your possession. They've also gone back to the law that was put in place during the new National Party time. That is the law that expunges the records of different individuals if you were you committed a crime 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and you still have that on your record, or you committed a crime when you were a child, you were 13, 14 years old, you fight somewhere on the terminal in town, and you maybe hit somebody with a bottle, so you were charged, and you have a criminal matter came out of that, and you probably end up having to pay a fine and all of that, so that's on your record that you were involved in that violent thing. During the period of the new National Party, the law was passed to expunge the records of people. Once you had to come before a committee, and pray tell, I do not believe, the last time I checked, that committee has not met during the period of this administration. I don't know what's happening with that committee, but I see them saying that they're going to be sending, yeah, why this person want to know how much you can have with you? Can I have the quantity stated for all on me at the same time? You can only have 56 grams of marijuana on you at a point in time. Marijuana, cannabis, weed, whatever you want to call it, right? And for the resin, you can only have 15 grams on you at any point in time. That's once this law is passed, Because even this morning, I was looking at a police press conference in St. Lucia, and they were discussing that issue as well, because the police were still arresting people and so on for it. And they said, while the issue has been spoken about, no law has been passed. It's still legal as far as they know. They have eased off from arresting people and so for it, but they still arrest people in and between. And they were asked, why are you doing that? And they said, well, no, the law has not changed. So here in Grenada, it is coming. Devon Charles, good night to you. Yeah, so that is the situation right now when it comes with the marijuana. Yeah, and I tell you all, anytime you see they start to do certain things, tell yourself elections coming. I keep telling you all, we are in an election year. Treat it as such. We are in an election year. Election could be as early as next month. Treat every month as though elections are coming then. Prepare yourself. Ensure. We've started the year. We're on the first of the year, but it's the 26th year. So we all have a responsibility for every month of this year to bring 26 plus 1 for the month of January. So 26 new people plus 1 into the house of the new National Party. Because when you hear they start speaking about cannabis legalization, and you realize that they're pushing other things, know for a fact that they will not like these things to die in the minds of the general public. They want these things fresh in the minds of the general public when they go to face the polls. So you figure it out. This year is definitely, in my view, going to be an election year. right? So let's go into different bits and pieces of the legislation, and I think it's better I put it like this. Let me see here. I think it's better I put it this way than put it that way. Yeah, I think it's better I put it like this. Yeah. So they're going to amend of Section 4 of the Principal Act. That's the existing legislation that deals with drugs and so on, right? And they're going to put nothing in subsection 1 shall apply to the importation of any medicinal or therapeutic product comprising, derived from, or containing cannabis in an amount not exceeding that which is recommended by a medical practitioner in accordance. Well, the thing is, to really go through that in a proper manner, I should actually have the other act and be showing you what Section 13C says. All right? So it's basically speaking here to medicinal marijuana. So people can be prescribed marijuana now for medical conditions. So A, suffering from a qualifying medical condition, and B, a person, the use by whom of such medical or therapeutic product is recommended by the medical practitioner. Right? So that's covering medical marijuana. Right? They're also going to add in a section that says nothing in this section shall apply to the production, supply, or offer to supply cannabis or cannabis resin for medicinal, therapeutic, or scientific purposes. Right? What that speaks to, again, medicinal use of marijuana, but that certain companies, and we know the companies going to end up belonging to, but certain companies in Grenada will be allowed to grow marijuana for medicinal purposes, will be allowed to sell marijuana and marijuana resin for medicinal purposes and as therapy and so on, because there are some people who suffer some brain problems, neurological problems. And in the US, there have been studies where these individuals have been prescribed marijuana and marijuana extracts and so on to assist with that, right? They are also going to add in here, these sections shall not apply, right? Subsections 1, 2, and 3 shall not apply to a person who has in her possession cannabis or cannabis resin of a quantity that does not exceed the specified in the 8th schedule provided, and that where such person is a child or a young person, the provision of section 6A shall also apply. So we'll see what 6A is here. Nothing in this section shall apply to the possession of cannabis or cannabis resin for the following purposes. A, medical or therapeutic purposes as prescribed or recommended by 1, a medical practitioner, or 2, any other health practitioner or class of practitioners subject to such regulatory procedures and guidelines as may be specified in any enactment which provides for the regulation of cannabis or cannabis resin for medical, therapeutic, or scientific purposes. Same thing as we were mentioning just now. B, scientific research conducted by a duly accredited institution. So in other words, they can't come and find 2 and 3 pounds of marijuana in a place and you say have it there for scientific purposes. Yeah? You must be accredited. Right? It must be an accredited institution, scientific institution, that is allowed to have certain amounts to do scientific study. Yeah? And that body may be approved by the minister. The minister themselves are given specific powers under this act, as may be specified in any enactment which provides for the regulation of cannabis or cannabis resin for medicinal, therapeutic, or scientific purposes. And for the Rastafarians, religious purposes as a sacrament in adherence to the Rastafarian faith, subject to such regulatory procedures and guidelines as may be specified in any enactment which provides for the registration of places of worship in this regard. In other words, so members of the Rastafarian faith, whether you are Bobo Shanti or whether you're 12 tribe or Nyabingi, Bobo Shanti, I mentioned Bobo Shanti, right, yeah. Whichever part of the Rastafarian faith you are, you have to first register your place of worship. So it's not a situation you could just go in the center of town and say that's your place of worship. You have to register your place of worship, and then you can freely use marijuana in that facility. I know they say cannabis, but I'm so used to the word marijuana. You can freely use cannabis in that location, yeah, as part of your worship and so on. So this section here deals with treatment of children and young persons found in possession of cannabis or cannabis resin. Where a child is found in possession of cannabis or cannabis resin in a quantity that does not exceed the amount specified in the 8th schedule. In other words, they don't have more than the prescribed amount for them to be charged with trafficking and so on. A police officer shall in the prescribed manner refer the matter to the Child Protection Authority in accordance with the reporting and referral procedures under sections 27 to 32 of the Child Protection and Adoption Act, Chapter 44A. Upon receipt of the referral, the Child Protection Authority shall conduct an assessment of the child's welfare and circumstances and where it considers appropriate, cause the child to participate in a drug counseling, education, or rehabilitation program approved by the Child Protection Authority, or take such other action as is necessary to safeguard the welfare of the child. And the cannabis or cannabis resin so found shall be liable to forfeiture and seizure in accordance with Section 35 of this Act. And it further goes to say where a young person is found in possession of cannabis or cannabis resin in a quantity that does not exceed the amount specified in the 8th schedule, a police officer shall in the prescribed manner refer the person to a drug counseling program conducted by a national organization that deals with drug abuse or such other body as the minister may prescribe, and the cannabis or cannabis resin so found shall be liable to forfeiture and seizure in accordance with Section 35 of this Act. For the avoidance of doubt, a child or young person in respect of whom this section applies shall not be arrested or charged, and no criminal record shall be created, and no criminal proceedings shall be instituted in respect of the possession referred to in subsections 1 and 2. The minister may make regulations to give effect to the provisions of this section, in particular, the form and manner of referrals and the designation and approval of organizations authorized to conduct counseling, education, or rehabilitation programs. So these are just some of the things. I believe that the age limit is 21 and above, if I remember correctly. I'll have to double check that in a while further up in the Act. But it deals with many different things. If, before they could charge you if you were found with the implements for smoking marijuana. So they find you and you have a pipe, as some guys use a pipe, and some of the older rastas, they use chillum pipe and so on. You could be charged with that. And it says here, that is now amended in certain, after subsection 2, the following new subsection, notwithstanding the other sections, in the possession of any pipe, equipment, or apparatus fit and intended for the preparation or use of cannabis or cannabis resin for medicinal, therapeutic, or scientific purposes, for religious purposes, or for personal use, shall be deemed to be possession for an authorized purpose pursuant to sections 6, subsection 5, section 6, subsection 6 and 13A. In other words, if you are now found with that, they can't charge you, they can't take it, they can't charge you, and so for that. Not yet. When this is passed, when this is passed is when they would be able to do that. All right? And it says here, nothing in this section shall apply to the doing of any act that is preparatory to the import or export of or supply or the offer to supply cannabis or cannabis resin for medicinal, therapeutic, or scientific purposes. So in other words, if you've been given a license to grow and to export marijuana, they can arrest you or import marijuana like you have. What you may see, some people may open cannabis shops or cafes, as some people call them, where you can go and purchase cannabis from a licensed shop. They're licensed to sell that, and you can go and purchase from them once you are within the age limit, and so that you can purchase from them. Now they're saying that if that shop wants to import marijuana, they cannot charge them for importing, and if you have a business that is set up to export, you can't be charged for export, because remember in other cases you may have been charged for growing, possession, and trafficking. In other words, exporting or so on. You may have been charged for all that. They're saying, no, if you're legally licensed, none of those apply. It doesn't mean if they catch you with a 2-fine bag full of weed, you ain't going to jail. You're going to jail same speed as before, because unless you are licensed to do so. Yes, so don't feel now where I could go with a 2 bag of diapmin. Nice? Right. So I'm just letting you all know. Because some people may hear things and run with it and think that, yeah, okay, I could go ahead and do this now and I could go ahead and do that. No. No. You cannot do that. Yeah? So it says here, let me see this part. So nothing in the different sections they mentioned there shall apply to the use, cultivation, importation, exportation, transit, production, supply, or possession of cannabis or cannabis resin for medicinal, therapeutic, and scientific purposes in accordance with a license, permit, or any other form of authorization issued under any enactment which provides for the regulation of the cannabis or cannabis resin for the said purposes, medicinal, therapeutic, and scientific, and so on. Right? So what we're seeing here, folks, let me come off it for a little bit. What we're seeing here is them simply saying that they're going to be legalizing different aspects of marijuana use, marijuana cultivation, marijuana importation, and marijuana export. Yeah, so that now they will be encouraging different folks to apply for their license and so on, and to grow their own marijuana, and so yeah, they'll be able to grow the marijuana. They could grow the thing, but you have to have a license. Other than that, for personal use, I believe it's 4 trees. Let me just find that section. They are allowing for, let me see, for 4 plants. Yeah, I think it's 4 plants that they are allowing that you can have at any point in time. I'm trying to find that section of it, and for some reason I'm not finding it now. Yeah, I'm not finding that section right now. But folks, that is some of what is being put forward. There are other things inside there that we'll get into. This wouldn't be the only night we're speaking about this. After it goes to Parliament, we'll be speaking about it, especially in the context. I'm just letting you know some of the things that are in it. But after it goes to Parliament, we'll be speaking further in context of the regional report that was done, and juxtaposing this against what was proposed during the period of the new National Party and so on. And I'm really interested as well in hearing what some of the religious bodies have to say about what is being proposed. I would like to know, well, I know what the Rastafarians would be saying in relation to what is proposed, but I want to know what is being said by some of the other religious bodies in Grenada, the Conference of Evangelical Churches, the Conference of Churches, the Seventh-day Adventists. What are all of these different bodies saying as regards this act that is being put forward? Do they agree with it? Do they have a problem with it? I think we need to hear from some of them. What are their views in relation to this? And again, as we were going through this the last time, let me just pull this section up here. It speaks to the controlled drug and the amount. If you have this amount on you, you are considered to be trafficking. Yeah? If you have this amount on you, you are considered to be trafficking. If you have 71 grams of cannabis, 30 grams of cannabis resin, 1 gram of cocaine, 2 grams of heroin, 55 grams of opium, 3 grams of morphine, or 1 gram of THC, any of these that you have on you, it is considered that you are trafficking. So you're not just, you'll be charged, except in the case of cannabis and cannabis resin, where there are legal amounts. With all the others, with cocaine, heroin, opium, morphine, and THC, you will be charged with possession of a controlled drug, and then you will be charged as well with trafficking in a controlled drug. If you have under this amount, you will just be charged with possession. In the case of cannabis and cannabis resin, you will be charged with trafficking. If you have these amounts, the 71 grams and the 30 grams, you will be charged with trafficking. But if you have under that amount, you will not be charged with trafficking or possession or anything. In the case of children, you saw what they are prescribing. If children, folks under the age of 21, I believe. If they're under the age of 21, you're seeing what they will do. They wouldn't put anything, they wouldn't charge you and so on. But certain procedures will take place. So it's saying here, the principal act is amended in the 5th schedule by inserting after the following row, being the occupier or concerned in the management of premises and permitting or suffering certain illegal activities to take place there. The summary is a fine of $250,000, 250,000, or imprisonment for 5 years or both. So it could be charged up to, it doesn't mean that necessarily, but $250,000, $250,000, or jail for 5 years, or both, jail and that. That is just, for instance, you renting a place, and you know fellas illegally growing marijuana inside your place, because you know they could grow it indoors and thing too, but you renting the place to guys knowing full well that they have that illegal activity taking place there, or you renting a place to people knowing full well that they have large amounts of marijuana there, or you the mother or the father and your children have large amounts of marijuana inside there, you are going to be charged. Not just the people that they find it with, you. Even if you're not there, you are concerned in the management of the place, so you could find yourself in trouble. Yeah? And on indictment, you could be charged up to $500,000 or 20 years imprisonment. So don't let nobody go and be growing marijuana, you in charge of a piece of land, and you tell fellas go ahead and put on a half acre of weed on the land and that kind of thing. No. You could end up having to pay $500,000 and spend 20 years in jail, and or spend 20 years in jail. Yeah? So you have to be careful. You can't just let people go and do all kind of thing in your place. Those are you that are renting out places. Those of you that renting out land and so on. If you know that this activity is taking place there and you ain't do nothing about it, these are the type of fines that you can be facing. Yeah? Up to 20 years in jail and $500,000 to be paid. Yeah? Those are the kind of things that you could find, problems that you could find yourself in. And I'm saying it because some people may just say, oh, they're legalizing this and they're decriminalizing that and so on, and just leave it at that. But you have to pay attention. Yeah? They're also adding in here the following in the law: smoking or using cannabis or cannabis resin in or within a radius of 5 meters of the entrance, exit, window, or ventilation intake of a public place. So don't feel because they say you could smoke mean you could go in the bus terminal and smoke. No, you cannot. Because if you do, you have a fixed penalty. They could give you a ticket of $300. Yeah, they ain't go send you to jail and thing for it, but they go charge you. So it is now like you're getting a ticket. So you could get a fixed penalty of $300, and if you decide you want to go to court with it, you could end up having to pay up to $5,000. Right? So you cannot just simply go and say you're smoking in tongue, you're liming under by NIS and you pull out your spliff and you're smoking. No, that's a public place. You cannot go on the terminal or in the vendor's market and those places and play your smoking. No. If you are anywhere within 5 meters, you better measure anywhere within 5 meters. And those public places, the mall or anywhere, and you decide no, you can't go and smoke in them place. Yeah? That's a public place. So you could take your smoke at home. You can't go in public and smoke. You can't light up on the bus and say, yeah boy, it decriminalized now. No, you could do that. You can't go on people's bus and smoke. You can't do it in public places. If it's for medicinal reasons, take your medicine home. If it's for personal use, use it in your personal space. I wish they do that with cigarettes too, not just marijuana. Do that with cigarettes too. Well, cigarettes, there are laws in relation to smoking cigarettes in places. So there's already that law in place, although a lot of people don't think, but it is in place. Right? And this is what I was speaking about earlier. Smoking or using cannabis or cannabis resin on or near school premises. And notice they didn't say within 5 meters, 10 meters or so. They leave this one up to the judgment of the police officers. So even though you may be within the legal age to utilize cannabis or cannabis resin, even though you are within the legal age limit, even though you may have been certified medically to utilize it, you still cannot use it anywhere near a school. So on summary, they could hit you that one time. That is $250,000 or 7 years in jail or both. That is for smoking around a school. You're smoking near a school. So you have a fine of $250,000 or 7 years in jail. Or both of them. You're paying $250,000 and you still have to spend 7 years in jail. And on indictment, $500,000 and 20 years in jail. Yeah? And or both. And that's what's trying to smoke near a school or so on. And notice again, while in the other one, they said here, within 5 meters of the entrance, exit, window, or ventilation intake of a public place, in relation to schools, they did not specify any specific distance. So that would generally be within probably the judgment of a police officer at the point in time of charging you. That, hey, you're smoking here, like the people who go around Queen's Park area there, and they may go Lyman, the little area around Queen's Park there. That is within a certain distance of schools. Yeah, the primary school and the secondary school. That is near to the schools. So you could find yourself facing that if you want to go in and smoke in them area and them there. Yeah? So they're being specific in relation to these aspects of the legislation. Yeah? Somebody just messaged me to say, cigarette is the worst. Imagine walking on mornings and that's what you have to breathe from people, different people. Yeah, I understand. And they're saying here, the decriminalized amount, they've stated it in the act itself for cannabis and cannabis resin, 56 grams and 15 grams. Yeah? So they've stated that. What I'm wondering is, in the case of somebody who is living near to a school, it means that, in Grenada, we have that situation. You have people that have their house right next to a school. You're basically looking out the house nearly into the school. All you can't smoke because all you're near school. So all you could find all yourself in problem. So all you don't bother to start here. All you could find all yourself in problems with that. So don't go and find yourself in them kind of problems there. Yeah? And they specify different things here. For instance, they specified what a public place is. So a public place means any structure, facility, space used for gathering by individuals, other place, for the use of or open to the public or any other similar space accessible to the public. So playing fields, that's a public place. Yeah? Around the churches, with the exception of the Rastafarian church, because there's a specific section for that. Yeah? All of these things, you can't go smoking around them. They're public places. And it doesn't say here that people have to be occupying the place. So it could be nighttime, because the act here does not speak to using cannabis resin on or near a school premises. It doesn't say here that it had to have children in the school. So it could be on the weekend. Because this doesn't clarify and say during school hours or during events in the school. This doesn't clarify. The one above doesn't clarify and say with the public places that there have to be people in the public places. It just says you cannot smoke near to those places. So you cannot smoke near to those places. They didn't even put the full stop, but it should have a full stop. Yeah? Because it doesn't say here that there have to be people in those places for you to be charged. Just for somebody, the police, to see you there. And public places also includes bars, restaurants, and clubs, outdoor dining and service areas, tourist establishments, except for such open areas forming part of a tourist establishment as may be specifically identified by the management of the establishment as areas where smoking is permitted. Some hotels may decide, hey, people could smoke marijuana, we're going to give a specific area a smoking lounge. We may put a smoking lounge and allow people to smoke there. You can't smoke in government offices. You obviously cannot smoke in health facilities, including pharmacies, even though some of them may be giving you the prescription to go and get it. You cannot smoke in those health facilities and so. Yeah? You know, and a partner is asking, smoking a cannabis on beaches? No, you cannot smoke cannabis on beaches as far as this would say. Sports, athletic, and other similar facilities for the use of the public, and that would include beaches. So no, you cannot go and smoke on the beach. Yeah? Educational institutions, of course, that covers the schools and so on that we were speaking about earlier, schools. Bus stops and departure and arrival waiting areas at a port or station for any form of transportation. You can't go and lie on the terminal and decide you're going and blaze up. You could be in problem. Yeah? Playing fields and other areas specifically for the use of children. Residences and guest houses for the use of staff employed therein. Beaches, you see the state the beaches specifically here. Parks, so you can't go down in Cameroon Park and Wildwoods and wherever they do all them other places. Yeah, you can't go in the park and smoke. Outdoor markets and other places or buildings of all types accessible to the public, including outdoor events or activities being used for gatherings by individuals. Right? And what it does not include, privately occupied residences not used for commercial purposes. So in your own home, this just says in your own home, your house, you could go ahead and smoke. Any place prescribed pursuant to regulations made under Section 13A to be a place of Rastafarian worship. Or 3, any place prescribed pursuant to an order made under Section 13B as an approved place where the smoking of or use of cannabis or cannabis resin is permitted. In other words, the minister can say that this particular place on this particular day, the use of cannabis is permitted. You could have a show at the stadium. The minister can give permission for a certain section in the show to be a smoking area. Yeah? So you bring down a burning spear. Yeah, and fellas decide, nah boy, you have to have a smoking section is burning spear. All the rastas come out the hills and so on. Don't want to go that. You could have an area that's specified that you can smoke there and wouldn't interfere with people who in the other areas who don't want to smoke and don't want to smell it and that kind of thing, right? Nice. And workplace means any area or place used by persons during their employment, work, or contract for services and includes vehicles used in the course of employment or for work purposes. So you can't smoke on the bread van and them thing. You can't take your weed and smoke on the bread van or the SGU bus and them. You can't do that. Connected annex places or common areas and residences used for commercially operated childcare activities. So you cannot smoke in those different areas. I'll let in all you know. Don't say that all you did not know. And here they also have a bit what the ticket itself may look like. Let me just pull that. What the ticket may look like, right? Take notice that I and the officer has to put their rank, number, and name. Have reason to believe that an offense, particulars of which are given overleaf, have been committed. The fixed penalty for the offense is that, and they put in how much you have to pay. Just like you're getting a traffic ticket, they put in how much you have to pay. And if this amount is paid to the clerk of the magistrate's court within 30 days from the date of this notice, that is to say no later than that, right? So that is basically similar to a traffic ticket, but specific to marijuana use now. And then to the back, they put the particulars at what time, where they find you, what you was doing, that sort of thing. All right, so that's what the ticket itself will be looking by. So all the information is there. And as much as you have the ability to do so, you need to get a copy of this and go over it. That's if you are one of the people that interested at all in using marijuana, that is up to all you. Notice I say all you, I ain't interested. Those of you that are interested in utilizing marijuana, the law is there, because we don't want at the end of the day some folks to be claiming ignorance of the law and then want to cuss the police. You can't blame the police. The information is out there, so you need to get the information, read up on it, and see what are the do's and don'ts. Don't feel now you're going to be burning a spliff and you're going and drop your child to school and thing and you're walking by the school gate with it. No. You're ending up with a serious heavy charge in relation to that. And folks, I'm going to open the phone lines now. Let's hear what you all think in relation to this particular matter. Yeah, let me open the phone lines a bit and get some of you before I move on to the other issue, because there's some bits and pieces on the other issue I really think we need to get into tonight. So I'm going to give you all the opportunity to get into the discussion. And someone just asked me a very interesting question here. They said, Sheldon, Sheldon, housing projects like the Chinese housing project, can persons living there smoke cannabis? And that's an interesting question, because there are some common areas there. And while one person living in apartment A may not smoke and don't have anything to do with that, the person living in apartment B may be a smoker, and a heavy one at that. And it may affect the person who is staying in apartment A. So that is an interesting question that indeed would have to be asked of the people that put this act together, because as it is right now, with what I've seen under the act there, I would have to say I don't think so. I don't think that you would be able to smoke if you're there, because while you have your private space, there are common areas. For instance, common areas like the walkway outside, the staircase, all those areas, and so they may be considered common areas. It's an interesting question, a very, very interesting question. Again, it's not a question I could necessarily answer. It is one from seeing what is there. I would tend to say no, and I think there are some rules to people who obtain houses in some of these projects that they are not allowed to smoke and different things. Well, I believe there are certain rules. I don't know. I've never lived in any of them, so I don't know. Yeah, and someone was asking here, anything about those operating taxi? It have some taxi men. You enter in the vehicle when you come out and smelling of cigarettes just as if you were smoking. It does say here the different, a bus, yeah, is public transport. Yeah, it is public transport. It is a public space. So, yeah, there is something there in relation to that. I know from time to time you may even enter a bus, especially after 12 in certain areas, you enter a bus and you realize the bus stink of weed. Yeah. Because the driver, conductor, they might come out and burn some, and you realize the bus stink of it. Yeah? So let's see. Let's see how that goes. As I said, I've opened the phone lines, waiting on your calls. I'm reading the messages that folks have sent in on this issue, because and some very interesting questions, yeah? And let me see here, yeah. Someone is asking, they wonder how you go about getting the license and so on. I believe they would have an authority that you would have to apply to get the license. Nurse Wendy is warning about homelessness and behavioral problems in Grenada. I think she's referencing some studies that have found marijuana to be a gateway drug to other drugs. And Fadu, let me hear you on that one, man. Let me hear you on that one. Fadu, this criminalization changes seem a lot more restricted. Takes away a lot from being free to being controlled, yeah? And again, Wolfgang is saying the same thing. Marijuana is a gateway drug to harder drug use. Let's see the effect on society 10 years from now. I'm just saying what it's saying, eh? Nice. But you all have to understand what is taking place here. Understand what's going on here. You have a situation where that pause, as they call it, in relation to immigrant visas, that's one of the reasons people wanted their CBI passport, so they could apply for that immigrant visa. Or they could apply for the non-immigrant visa, and we are hearing of people being sent back who otherwise would have qualified and not even getting the non-immigrant visa, we either going to Barbados and coming back empty-handed. So the CBI program, we realize, is in problems. You know what is going to, everybody with common sense, anybody that wants to pay attention to reality, knows what will be happening within the next couple of years as regards CBI. If it have a year in it, good, well, okay. But the European Union, who people were trying to get their CBI citizenship to be able to go to, they are blocking out, they're blocking out countries, they've warned countries that they're going to block them out. If it is a situation that folks are getting their ability to enter their territory using a CBI passport, they have stepped up on it now and they said, look, they're looking to get rid of that. So they're going to impose, there's what you call a Schengen visa that, for instance, Grenadians have automatically, so that a Grenadian can go to France or Germany or Sweden or Switzerland or any one of the European Union countries without the need for a visa once they are only staying for a period of time. I think it varies from country to country, but usually it's about 60 days, 90 days or something. You're allowed to be there without the need to apply for a visa, right? So it's a Schengen group of countries. And some of the people that apply for CBI passports in the OECS in St. Lucia, here in Grenada, in St. Kitts, in Dominica, they apply for that because these countries have the Schengen access to these countries, so they don't need a visa to enter these countries because these countries are European Union countries. But what the European Union is attempting to do now is remove that access. And if you're removing that, you've already removed the E2 visa from people who gain citizenship by investment from Grenada. So if you were trying to get the Grenadian CBI passport because you wanted the E2 visa, which is the economic visa, which means that you're going to set up a business in the United States and that kind of thing, and it smooths the process over for you, well, in that case, now you have to go for the golden visa from President Trump, because you will not be able to get the E2 visa out of Grenada again as a Grenadian through CBI. So you realize that the CBI itself is in problems now. And because the CBI is in problems, you see government now trying to fast track other means of making money. The travel advisory that was placed in Grenada, if not reversed anytime soon, because imagine, you didn't get that travel advisory when the thing take place with boat and kidnapping and all. You didn't have the advisory then, but you get the advisory now. And you get it right in the midst of your tourist season is when you get hit with that advisory. And it's all well and good to say, okay, we know that what is being stated there is not really a true reflection of us. Yes, we have our moments, but it's not a true reflection of the present state of Grenada. We don't have people who seem to be capable of going out there and having that discussion on our behalf. We are hearing them. We have a caller on the line. Hello, good night.
Yeah, good night, Sheldon. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Go right ahead.
Yeah, Sheldon, I started now thinking of something. When I was a lot of adults, they get the young people involved in selling by one or other drugs. Okay, because they know, like, let's say, like, you think about the 21 years children are involved in the drugs, okay? Well, what about a child, let's say, like, 14, 15 years, and you're caught with marijuana, alright? And then the first might catch him with it, and they investigate the matter to asking question, who give him the drugs? And he might say, John James will give me drugs. What will happen if what the child said is it true that John James will give me the drugs to sell to other people?
I haven't heard that part.
Okay, let's say
Sorry, because I was trying to multitask. You're saying something about
that
sell,
school child.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to school, and he was caught by the police with the drugs in his possession.
Mm-hmm.
And then the police questioned him, and he said, John James that gave him the drugs to sell. And if by investigating that matter, what the child saying is true. What will happen to the person that gave him the drugs to sell? Sell.
I have to look over the act to see if there is anything specific to adults who are passing drugs on to controlled substances, not just marijuana, any controlled substances,
Yeah,
who are
that's
passing it
marijuana.
on to children. Maybe if it is not there, maybe a specific section needs to be put in that deals with that and put some very stiff
Exactly.
penalties for any situation where an adult is passing controlled substances on to children. Serious penalty. I don't mind if it's the 250,000 to 500,000. I
Exactly.
don't mind if it is
Because-
that is put in that case. Because what
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from. You may have adults that decide, hey, the best way to move it from point A to point B is give children. Because the children ain't
It's
getting
children,
charged, no
sure.
criminal charge.
Exactly. Yeah, that's my point. Yeah.
And knowing some of the children, they
Aye.
wouldn't talk either. You know, some of them children, they sit down in that police station there and they ain't saying a word.
They say I want to sell.
Yeah, they ain't saying a word. They ain't saying a thing.
Yeah, they say that award, right? Because they giving that to sell to other children because all the young children they smoking too, right? So you see what happened with the seniors? What they do now? They destroying the future of the nation. Because when you give young men to weed, you give them to sell, to go to school and sell. Who they sell it to? It's young people. Young people sometimes they sell it to elders. Right? So I do a stiff penalty should have to be upon those who give me the training drugs to sell. So that's my point. Okay.
Yeah, very good point. Thank you. Yeah, and that caller has made a very valid point there. What takes place with the people who may decide, there may be an individual that says they're going to take these 10 children and they're going to pass the marijuana on to them, or they pass the drugs on to them, knowing full well that if the children are found with the marijuana, that the children would not be charged, that they would be sent to counseling and that sort of thing, but that they would not be charged, so they'd have nothing on their record. So they may decide that they're going to utilize that. And as a stopgap in relation to that, I believe the caller is right. Something needs to be in there, and I have to double check the act to see if there is something to deal with that particular mischief. I would have to double check the act to see that. But it would be important, very important, to have something there to deal with a situation like that. We can't have our children being used as mules and that sort of thing. Yeah, we ought not to have that sort of thing taking place. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Sheldon.
Hey, good night.
Yeah, just calling to find out if marijuana is legal or illegal.
It is being decriminalized. It is still
Right?
it is
No.
not legal now. No.
Yeah, well, because what I'm saying, all you pass in front of police station all about people walking with ganja in their mouth and nothing have been done. So I don't know if what they're doing now will make it worse or better, but to me, they go make it worse.
I'll tell you, before, the approach up to this point in time and for many years now has been, don't bother with if you see a man with a one spliff and thing, don't bother with it, because as I mentioned last night, the cost of dealing with that person with that one spliff is so much to the state with the present law. Is so much to deal with that one person that it costs the state nearly 100 times the cost of that spliff by the time you pick them up and you bring them to the police station and put them in a cell. Yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna cost because
Okay.
I don't know what the cost of a spliff now. I know back in the days it used to be around $8 or whatever for one. I don't know what it is now. But what I
that
can tell
don't
you,
your side, man. That is your side. Up
No, I'm
country
talking about-
like $5 and thing.
no, I'm talking about years ago. As I said, that was years ago. I don't know. So
Yeah.
whatever it is now, by the time a police officer arrests somebody, by the time they come and they put a hand on you, it costs more than that $5 you say it's selling for up in the country. It costs more than that already, because by the time you check the police time, let me say you're paying the police on an hourly rate. No police in Grenada working for $2 and $3 an hour, are they?
Yeah.
So it
Understand
already
that.
costs the state more. By the time you put them in the vehicle and you burn the gas to bring them to the police station, By the time you put them in a cell and you have to feed them tea, breakfast, and dinner before you bring them before a justice of the peace or the magistrate or whatever, all of that cost the state more than the cost of the spliff, which doesn't really make sense. So now that you have the law being put in place, it's going to kind of flip it. Because now, if a man walking in front of the police station that's spliffing him out, he's in a public place, he could be charged $300 on the spot. On the spot, he could be charged. You want to smoke? Smoke in your house.
Cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, I'm quite happy with that because you have, a lot of young people and elder people who are supposed to know better disrespecting people. So I go like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right, cool.
All right, great. All right.
Yeah, later.
Yes, indeed. And someone is reminding me here that there are laws in the existing drug act relating to in using minors to traffic drugs from one point to another. I'll have to check that law myself and see what it says, because how does that apply to what we saw a while ago in what they were saying about if children are found with it, this is the procedure. Yeah, call the child welfare, whatever it is, authority, calls child welfare, them kind of thing, send them for counseling, that sort of thing. So we have to see if that is still in line with what is in the present law, the law that exists now. Yeah? And then you have to take, we're speaking cannabis here, but there are other things that have to be taken into consideration, because I've been hearing on the streets that now some of the synthetic drugs that were only up there in the US have started showing their face here in Grenada too. So you have to be on the lookout. Yeah, some of the pills, and you're hearing the fentanyl and all these kind of things. From what I've been hearing on the street, some of these things have started to put in an appearance on our island. So you have to be on the lookout for those things as well. All right, and the phone lines are open, 1473-440-7377, 1473-440-7377. That's the number for you to get onto the inside of tonight's program. And yes, check in the comments on them too. Yeah, check in the comments on them too in relation to these things. We have a caller online. Hello, good night.
Well, hello, Sheldon.
Hi, good night.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
Pretty good. This is your favorite boy from Tampa, Florida.
Tampa, Florida in the house tonight, my brother. How it go?
I'm doing good. And first thing I'm going to share with you.
Yeah.
Even though I live in the United States, I am a Grenadian. I went to school in Heinze, and I went to school at GBSS.
You know, I set up people now go try to make out your voice. I wonder if I go to school with that man.
Okay, but I don't want to really identify myself.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Because of situations that's going on here in the United States.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. But what I want to share with you is a lot of people is like one caller just called and asked if marijuana is now legal, but they don't understand it. It is not legalization. It is controlled. And controlling it from the government standpoint, where they're going to make money off it by licensing certain people and putting tax on it and all that great stuff. And it's basically is modeled from all what you went over. Because I was listening to you from the beginning of the show. It's modeled from what is going on here in the United States with the different smoke shops and all the great stuff and so forth.
And you know who's going to benefit? The poorer class of people will not benefit in any positive way from this. Because
that's correct.
They are the ones who are going to be charged the $300 because they find you smoking out in the road. Even though you're near to your house, but you're smoking out in the road, they are the ones going to be paying the $300. While those who have the money are going to open the smoke shops with the smoke lounges, import the marijuana from different countries, and have this set up to do the export and import and so on. That's people with money going to be doing that.
Sheldon, one thing I'm going to share with you. You're doing a very, very good job on your programs because you are educating Grenadians on a lot of good stuff. And if a lot of people would take the time to listen to you, they would stay out of a lot of problems, because then a lot of people don't take the time to read these laws, to, look at them and listen to them and understand it. You are taking it and breaking it down and giving it to them, the basic information. And if people can understand that, it would save them a whole lot of problems down the line.
Yeah, because you know what would happen? This act may go to Parliament, it's passed, and then some fellas decide, what, I could smoke free, and start to walk all over the place with marijuana. They might have a ball of weed in their hand, walking up and just think that it's free now. We could just go ahead and not find out the details of how you can smoke, where you can smoke, when you can smoke. And there are different parts of this thing that have loopholes. If a house is next door to a school, and we know Grenada, so we know there are houses that jam up next to a school. Some of them nearly touching the school fence. They're that close. Houses that are close to playing fields and so that football and thing might be taking place in. What takes place with a person smoking in those houses?
I can draw that reference because I used to live in Grenada. There was a school right next to my home. So I can understand the whole situation.
Yeah.
But then the other aspect that the other caller spoke about just now, about an adult giving it to a kid to sell it. If you really take those laws and you take those that act that they're trying to put there, they're going to see that adults will be criminalized for giving it to kids in order to put it up for sale or so forth. So, and like I always tell people, back in my days, I used to make a joke. I say, when I was a kid, my father used to give me a quarter. I went to the store. I got me a bag of chips. I got me a soda. I got me a piece of cake, But when I come back home now, I still had the quarter in my pocket. You can't do that today because everywhere you go, you have a camera. Okay? So, people got to be careful what they're talking about. You got to be careful what you're saying and how you're saying it. But anyway, I'm going to keep up with the show, and you'll hear from me from time to time.
Thank you so very much, my brother.
Good one.
All right, great. Yes, indeed. And there are other aspects to this that we need to look at. Now, once this act is passed, money coming out of Grenada to the U.S. is going to be looked at differently. Now, there are laws in the United States on the federal level. Now, you have the state level and you have federal level in the United States. So you might have the state, New York State, but on the federal level is the United States, right? So there are laws on the federal level that deal with money that is obtained through the business of marijuana then. Let me just put it in a broad sense, the business of marijuana. So you have to understand that money coming out of Grenada, they'll have to make sure that it is in no way connected with that industry to allow it in, or you'll find yourself in problems. You have a caller. Good night.
Hello, Sheldon. Good night.
Hey, good night. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm quite good, man. You go right ahead.
Here, one question I want to ask. I don't know if you're going to have the question for that, but we have to take into consideration. Remember the ladies sell a lot of drugs too, eh? What will be the penalty for the ladies? They sell a lot of drugs too, so you have to look at that one also.
No, you don't have to. Adults is adults, male and female. Children is children, male and female. There's nothing gender specific in this case. Once you're found with it, male or female, same charge. It doesn't have to be specific. It just says.
You remember they always like to treat the ladies as angels, eh? They always like to treat them innocent.
Well, the law is the law, my brother. I know of ladies who were treated just as harshly as the men and ended up in prison for be it drugs or theft or other things. They were treated just as harshly.
Well, according to the old people, what they sow, that's what they reap, eh?
Yeah. I used to, way back in time, I used to be a reporter going into the court and gather information for the newspapers when I used to work with a particular newspaper in the early days. So I saw it. So I know from experience. All right. Okay, my brother. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, the laws of Grenada in the context of these things are not gender specific. They, across the board, whether you're male, whether you're female, the law ain't care. Yeah? The law does not care. All it's saying, smoke in your place. And we hope your place is not next to a public place or within 5 meters. 5 meters, is it? 5 meters, 6 meters of a public place, because you will find yourself in problems. 1473-440. We ain't going to bother with the next one tonight. We're going to leave that for another. No, we're not coming on tomorrow because let me see. No, I think. I didn't think I see anybody now. They want to program tomorrow night, so no, we ain't doing it tomorrow night. But we definitely will be back on Monday. So no program tomorrow night, but Monday night. Yes, indeed. So folks, yeah, you have to be very careful. Don't just hear these things and run and feel that, yeah, we could do that and we okay and we good now. In fact, you know what? I'll take a piece of the other law tonight just to get the ball rolling, and then we go deeper in it on Monday. But yeah, we can't just say that they've decriminalized and is a free-for-all right now. One, understand government on a money hunt now. They need to do it because they believe that the marijuana industry can bring in millions of dollars for Grenada. Maybe it can, especially if you're doing medicinal marijuana and you're exporting it, so that you have marijuana growing here and you're exporting it. You have to be careful though, because you have to look at whether existing farmers will have their plots either bought, rented, leased by big corporations that decide that they want to plant a set of marijuana. For instance, all the lands that were in Cane for Carriacou, what if organizations come in and decide they want those lands now to plant marijuana instead? Yeah? And what is the situation? How are they going to be protecting that and guarding that and all those kind of things? Are they going to be putting in grow houses and all those kind of things, right? But that is not what the poor man here is going to be doing. The poor man in Grenada is the one who is going to end up with the $300 ticket. The poor man in Grenada is the one who is going to end up with all the different charges that are still attached, are the ones that are going to not benefit from it, but are going to be facing it. Where they might not be facing anything right now, yeah, because the police just bother them. When that law is in place, the same way you see the ticketing for vehicle, they'll be ticketing for man smoking too. So realize they hit a venue and they find man smoking inside a bar or something. Hey, there's a bar, is that you smoking a weed? But you take that ticket, 300. They ain't arresting you and go with you, but they hit you a ticket for 300. Yeah? So you will find things like that will be happening. The people who are going to make the money are what Maurice Bishop may have called the ganja capitalists. Remember Maurice Bishop used to use that terminology? That there are people that want to turn Grenada into a ganja place, the ganja capitalists and so on. Maurice Bishop was really a man who used to talk about that all the time. The ganja capitalists want to take over. And he accused different people of being in line with them, wanting to be able to grow marijuana and have a set of marijuana in Grenada to export. Yeah? But look where we are at now in 2026. Right? Has it been looked at now as a means of gaining income for Grenada, where you run the risk of CBI going down, where your fish, you already can't sell your fish right now, and you ain't too sure when or if you'll ever be able to sell fish again, right? And you also have advisory on the tourism that is affecting the amount of tourists that are coming to Grenada or want to come Grenada. Or even a cruise ship would come with a 2,000 or 3,000 people on it, and because of the travel advisory, some of them not coming off the ship. They're staying on board because they're hearing about these things. And I saw I saw a bad video just about 2 days ago, and I can't remember whose social media profile I saw it on. And we have to be very careful because there are content creators that are coming into Grenada and giving a very bad image of us. So there was this content creator that came in and basically gave the impression that Grenada wasn't that safe. So you saw them putting a Apple AirTag on their child. Me, since when we just kidnap people, children in Grenada. Me, since when we just do that. But they put in an Apple AirTag on the child, and they put a sticker on the hand, and they put, in case you find this child, put this thing on it, call this number, and then you see them hiding their money all how when they go on the beach and they're there, and you have people coming up to them and ask them for money, like beggars coming up to them and beg them for money and thing. And it was bad because some of this what I was showing was right in front of the mall in town. It was bad. I'm sorry I didn't save the video because I'd have been able to play it tonight. But it's bad. It gives a bad impression of our country. And the thing is, we know the reality. We know that usually if we see one of these guys go in and approach a tourist, we tend to step in between. That is Grenada for you. And it's not like they ain't come out place with beggars, you know. I've been to places like Texas and thing, you know. I've been to Florida, I've been to Texas, I've been to Washington, D.C., I've been to Albuquerque, New Mexico, I've been to Atlanta, I've been to New York City, I've been to Washington, D.C., I've been to all these areas. And they can't tell me that I don't have beggars and thing and panhandlers and so in these areas. I've seen them. Yeah? I've seen in all of those places. I've seen them. So they can't say that they don't have that there and they come in here and it's something strange that they meet in here. The difference here is you might meet one or if you're unlucky two. But you ain't going and meet the amount you just meet when you're out in those places. But again, who do we have that is sending the right messages out there to protect our country? I could have come on this program and I could have been coming and saying all the worst things and pushing that, oh, Grenada is this terrible place and Grenada is the most beautiful, most safe place in the world. All you come. The only problem we have here is we have the worst, most inept government. But it is the most beautiful country with the worst government. Yeah, we are the most peaceful country. We are the most beautiful country. We are the safest country. Come. Visit us. And each one of us should be spreading that message out there. The only problem we have here, we have a very incompetent government, which we will soon change. They had to go. It's go. They must go. That is for sure. They could sit down there and feel that they have a next term coming. But the next term might be up by some of the people that graduate this week. Them turnkey and them. That might be the next term that they get. Not a term in government, but a term in something else. The time will soon come when those things will be dealt with. So folks, I just want to quickly go through one or two things here. And you know, my mind keeps telling me, leave that one alone until Monday. And I really feel, yeah, leave it alone until Monday. I was going to go into it, but let me leave it on alone until Monday. The phone lines are open, 1473-440-7377. 14, yeah, you know, something had to go in my mind. It's saying leave it alone. Yeah. 1473-440-7377. You can call us on the WhatsApp. And we have a caller. Hello, good night. Oops. Hello, good night.
Fadu,
what's up?
Happy New Year, mate.
Same to you, bro. I tell you, hey, send the thing for me and send it, eh?
Silas, you talk of the phone.
Yeah.
You get me? I might want my license. But this one seems this one have a lot to unpack it. Now, I consider myself a connoisseur.
Yeah, you and Mary Jane have a very good relationship.
Yes, very good relationship. Steam, big, teas, you know, production, all that stuff, innit? So,
careful how you say production, they're listening. Huh? Careful how you say production, they're listening.
Processing. Let's say processing.
They're still listening. Well, go ahead, bro.
Quick question. Is the legal amount, yeah, what you quoted, and you still mentioned that there's provision for trees?
Yeah, there's a provision for trees. I was looking for it, but there's a provision for you to have, I think it's 4 trees.
4 trees.
Yeah, I know there was a thing in Trinidad where if it was male or female trees and that kind of thing, but 4 trees.
Like a mafu and all that. Okay.
Yeah.
But, all right, so a tree would range from, let's say, 2 ounces to over a couple pounds, innit?
Well,
so in terms of having...
I don't know.
Well, as I say, I'm a connoisseur. You get me?
You gonna know.
So, in terms of, as you say, the safe amount or large amount stored, if I have 4 trees that giving me several pounds each, that's a large amount stored as dried. Because you have to, as you say, in terms of processing, that's a part of processing. You can't use it green. You could use it green, but it's more like tea and stuff, so you have to dry it to actually smoke it. You get me? So after it's dried, you can get from a couple ounces to a couple pounds. Now that would qualify as a large amount, a lot more than is prescribed based on what you say. Now, in terms of the trees, the technicality of the trees, I could have 4 trees, but I can make the trees more. So, you know, I can get clones from it. So how does that work? Also, I wanted to ask.
Hold a second, Fadu. Let me just show you something quickly here.
Go ahead. You should send me that information too, please.
Yeah, I'll send it for you. The policy, this is not in the law itself. This is the policy document that accompanies the law. It says here, licensed household cultivation, licensed requirement for personal cultivation. So you still have to get licensed to grow it home, eh?
Well, as I said, it seems more control now.
To align with the principle of individual liberty, licensed adults aged 21 and older will be permitted to cultivate up to 4 cannabis plants for private use on their property, secure from public access and public visibility. So to grow it, they're just saying you could have 4. You have to get a license to grow the 4 home by you.
So they know everybody is.
Hold on, it says disposal of excess cannabis. Recognizing the need for environmental responsibility and public safety, the government shall develop clear guidelines on the disposal of excess cannabis from household licensed cultivation. These guidelines will promote safe and environmentally sound disposal methods to prevent accidental ingestion, misuse, or illicit activity.
Interesting.
But the point that you're raising there is a serious one, though. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, as I said, like the drying of it comes as like a byproduct or production of it, and it's definitely you go get in a bigger quantity than they say is permitted. So that is a kind of hiccup there for me. Also, in terms of the other substances, controlled substances that they given like legal perimeters to, how would that be treated? Like someone that's smoking crack could light up 7 meters away from a public building?
No. They have done, all they've done here is that they have changed the amount that you have to consider that you're trafficking. But it's still fully illegal. So crack is still fully illegal. Cocaine, whether straight cocaine or crack cocaine, still fully illegal. THC, heroin, all these things still fully illegal. All they've said now is that if you have over that amount, you'll be charged with trafficking as well. If it is under the amount, they charge you just with possession.
So explain the THC for me. The one that.
But the THC is not the same compound that you're pulling out of the marijuana.
True, but THC is also from the banana.
Well,
maybe you see the threads in the banana. If you dry those threads in banana, there's actually THC compound in it.
Boss, I find you selling secrets on air. You know?
So, my apologies, but I have a wealth of information.
No, but I've known of that one, yeah.
Okay, and in a female's breast milk, there's a cannabinoid also.
Well, I didn't know that one.
You remember, even your brain, your synapses and stuff, they use cannabinoids to carry signals.
And I'm just interrupting you as I find things that you're asking the questions to. I'm just going to pull it up one time for you. It says here, because due to the question you asked that one tree might have how much pongs and thing on it. They're saying here that one, the license holders are responsibility. License holders are responsible for ensuring their cannabis quantities remain within the legal limits. Individuals must ensure their cultivation area is private and secure. Excess cannabis. Individuals must appropriately prune and dispose of excess cannabis to avoid exceeding the possession limit. Individuals can possess up to 56 grams of cannabis and 15 grams of cannabis resin on their person only in designated public spaces. So you had to prune the tree, you had to trim the tree like it's a bonsai tree, you had to keep it as a
that's nonsensical in its own way, because you want a maximum yield. The fact of growing a tree is to get the best product and the best yield from it. So you could prune within a context in terms of taking out some big leaves and all that, so more energy goes to the flowering and all that. But at the same time, you want to have a maximum result.
And here's the other thing,
for personal consumption.
Here's the other part now. So the other part to make more money now. So you go and you get a license to grow your 4 plants. You grow in the 4 plants and you end up over the limit. They are not charging you with a criminal offense, they're giving you a ticket for that.
A ticket, yeah.
So it's outside of paying for the license, you're still paying for, because they come and they check your tree and they say, nah, we have too much there. You get charged again.
I swear as much as a connoisseur, I don't want the government responsible for anything I put into my body on the levels. Point blank period. You get me? And I think the part that they're not putting into effect, that people were aware that they could do jail time and they're still being consuming and going and trafficking, as they put it. So with the what you call it, the new changes, prescribed changes to the law, I mean, I don't think they thinking outside the box. I don't even think they're thinking inside the box. You get me? It's like a lost attempt to what they're trying to do there right now, because everybody could see between that or see through that. That ain't gonna catch a lot of people. The government would not be labeled as somebody you want to go and as to be the, what you say, the what do you call it, the plug. You don't want the government to be the plug or have anything to do with controlling or the way people use and recreational or medical. Right? The whole thing about the THC, again, as I said, I don't understand how they quantify that, because the plants itself, and especially based on the plant you have, the THC yield might be higher. You might have a hybrid. You might have indicas opposed to sativa. No, sativas, if you mix a sativa with indica, you get like a huge tree. Like I've known trees that you could actually climb on and cut like a Christmas tree with a hacksaw. You get me? So it's a kind of tricky thing. Maybe I have to review some of the information and maybe get back to you on that. But
I'm gonna send the policy and the law to you.
Yeah, I appreciate
because
it.
some of the questions that have been raised as I'm going through the policy now, I realize some of them are addressed in the policy, because there was one I had as regards if they are going to allow use by Rastafarian children.
Okay.
So if the sacrament is being used in a
good one.
Rastafarian church in the setting, if it will be used, and under the religious privileges, they've actually said no. So the question is answered there. It says prohibition of use of cannabis by minors. No person shall permit a minor to use cannabis at a place of worship or an exempt event. Any person who commits this offense shall be liable to a fine or a term of imprisonment. They have criminalized that part.
Well, I've known Rastafarians growing up their kids on that.
Yeah.
So again,
I've known it.
It's like they controlling how to, as you say, even though they give the blessing for the religious accoutrements, they still controlling that. They still controlling that phase. I don't know how much people go and gravitate to that as they think it would. That's what I'm saying. It's like the true individuals that partake in that, not just for the scene, not to make out, not to look cool and all that. It's a mindset.
It also
it's a
says
mindset
here
that you gravitate.
It says here, under the proposed bill, the Rastafarian groups may register with the Ministry and Cannabis Regulatory Authority to cultivate more than 4 cannabis plants, harvest, cure, use, transport, supply, store, and destroy cannabis for religious purposes as a sacrament in adherence to a religious practice of a religious body at a place of worship or at a designated cultivation site.
Wow.
Inspectors,
Wow.
So here it is, inspectors of the Cannabis Regulatory Authority shall be present during harvesting and processing to ensure compliance with regulations and provisions. You think Rastas go in and allow, they go in and call them to send some police or somebody to stand up over them when they cut in the marijuana. Anyway, registration may be required to dispense cannabis solely for sacramental purposes at a sacramental dispensary, and also they are not allowing the Rastafarians to import marijuana for use.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a prohibition of importation of cannabis for religious purposes.
But the big companies could do it. The big companies could do it.
For medicinal purposes, yes.
Ha.
But the Rastafarians will not be allowed to import. They have to use what are available locally.
So question. When they talk about the medical purposes, that does not include THC, I assume.
Well, I think THC was one of the main components that you're looking from it for certain
so there's like four main cannabinoids. THC is the one that gets you high, right? I think it's the cannabinoid. That's the antipsychotic. So it's like even when they used to say that weed makes you crazy, that's debunked right there because there's a balance in it. So just as you get the high, there's something that prevents you from not getting too high. However, when they tweak it, like when it's not grown naturally, when it's grown more synthetically, they could increase the volume of THC, which throws it off balance. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that's where people get high to the point that they might just pass out or don't know themselves. There's no way of controlling that apart from you testing it and saying, okay, well, this is the grade of this or this is the grade of that, and they don't have that platform installed. based on what I'm seeing and what the regulations are. So again, there's so much unpacking in this situation. I don't want to disparage anybody. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk.
You put it like this: it worse for smokers right now than it was before.
Yes, that is exactly what it is, because it's definitely seen more control. Even the charges that's given seems more ridiculous right now. So I don't know how that's going to pass with the people that actually, as I say, not looking for the ranking thing and want to go out in public and look cool and all that. To me, Fadu, until that start reaching in the gated communities, it was not a big issue. They didn't mind the commoners getting locked up and shit. Point blank period. Pardon my French. It started to reach the gated communities right now, so they make it easier, because especially with the adult entertainment that's going on, that's what's used for control of some of these individuals doing that. You get me? So it's a lot to play. As I say, I wait till some more information come out, and I'll hit it up or hit you up and talk more about it. But this seems a lot of BS for me. That's why I seen it right now.
Okay.
And again, I don't want the government regulating, dictating, none of that of how I enjoy Mary J. That's a personal thing. You get me?
Yeah. All right, brother. Thank you. The discussion ain't done. You know, we had to talk on this one again.
Yeah,
the discussion ain't done yet.
Listen, connect after you finish the show then.
No scene. All right, brother.
All right.
Yeah, blessings. All right. And folks, before we run out of time tonight, I want to mention some information I get there. The government has removed the honorarium payment for nurses. So I don't know if some nurses went to get their money today. I think it's the 15th year, so in the middle of the month, they went to get a little money and thing. And the honorarium, the additional money that was given to them, apparently government has taken that back. So maybe it wasn't a thing for the lab. Was seen there from, I realized I get contact a little earlier and I didn't realize why. But now I realize why. I see the messages now. Yeah, that the government has taken back the honorarium. They better careful. You see them nurse and them behaving up in New York, they're careful. You know? Yes, so that the honorarium that was given to the nurses, that has been taken back. So we'll talk further on that on Monday when I gather more information in relation to that particular issue. Yes, indeed. So, folks, as we close tonight's program, just want to let you all know, no program tomorrow night. We will be back on Monday night, God's willing. I ain't hear Camille Teresa Scott tonight. She must be tired. Yeah, I know today was a kind of hot, then rain, and hot and rain. She may be tired. Yeah, so I didn't hear you. Good night to you, Camille Teresa Scott. Yeah. So we'll be back on Monday. And I keep putting off this rainwater thing, but we need to discuss it because there are serious financial implications for you homeowners. Serious financial implication for you business owners. Yeah? Those of you that have businesses and so on, you have a lot of roof space, and if your roof is not up to standard to be able to collect the rainwater, you have to bring your roof up to standard, which might mean changing your roof or having to coat your roof with some non-toxic substance, whatever it is. You're going to have to spend some money. Yeah? Those of you who are looking to build now, I'll spend it immediately. Those of you who have existing structures have to fix it within 5 years, or you could be charged. Yeah? So there are different things that are coming up there. We have to take a serious, deep look at that. Yeah? Because some of you listening now and saying, oh, right, for people with big place. No, 250 square feet. You might be surprised the size of 250 square feet. Your house might qualify, and you might find yourself having to go and put in a rainwater system in your house, get an engineer to design one, get it passed, and then this kind of thing. Again, looking for money, squeeze the last dollar out of you, every household in Grenada, as much as they can. Folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you. And in anything you say and do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you, and definitely not about you. My name is Sheldon Scott. Do enjoy your weekend. Love each and every one of you. We'll be back on Monday with more Talking Points for you. I am out.